Hey kids, this is Aaron from the podcast that wouldn't die, and Kevin and I use Zencastr. You think you're better than us, that you're using something else? You're wrong. Zencastr's the place to be. Who are you to deny it?
It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. If you thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code DIEHARD and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same experiences we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time for you to share your story.
Only a fool would give up a chance for a 30% discount.
We have all had thoughts about what we would do in a zombie apocalypse, many of which focus on our own survival. But what if you found an abandoned baby? How many of us would take the responsibility of looking after such a fragile life? How many of us would just leave? In this gripping audio drama, we follow the story of a man who struggles to keep his humanity while raising a baby in this world wrought with chaos, bringing back the one thing this lawless civilization needs most: hope. Mudwalker Productions presents Raising Hope, an audio drama that will keep you asking, what's next? Raising Hope is a self-produced bi-weekly audio drama. Ask not what you should do to survive. Ask how do I live? Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Caring for your family during these times is admirable. But you only get one take at this life.
If only they would just die.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast that wouldn't die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
How do?
This week, we'll be discussing the new classic Pearl, starring Mia Goth, Clark Kent. Others. Other people are in this, allegedly.
Is that Italian for my goth?
I would say, okay, before we get into this, we have a very special guest that's joining us. We are thrilled as can be. It's Vern from the Cinema Recall podcast.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me here today, Aaron and Kev. I really appreciate it. It was very nice of you to have me out here to your farmhouse.
Not at all.
Absolutely. We're thrilled to have you, man. And like we said, now Mia Goth is actually her real name, yes. By the way. I thought it was like a nickname or a stripper name or something. No offense, Mia, if you're listening.
I like that.
Club, like a strip club.
Doesn't it
they
seem
just play Bauhaus in the background?
it's a very specific type of club. Absolutely.
There have been some really good burlesque shows, and Mia Goth is the name of it seems like a name of a burlesque dancer, because I was at Twin Cities Con and we went to a burlesque show called Nerdlesque, and they had one girl who did a striptease as Carmen Sandiego, and another girl did a striptease as Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop. Nice. And then this dude did a striptease as Lando Calrissian from Star Wars. It was fun. You did to see a striptease of Wario from the Super Mario Brothers. And then really quickly, though, not to take over the show, but at the Crypticon, they had another burlesque show, and there's one burlesque dancer. I can't remember the name of the troop, and I wish I had it down. It's in my notes somewhere. They were called the Human Setsipede. And they did a burlesque dance of the human centipede.
Oh, sweet Jesus. That's going to give me a nightmare trying to figure that one out. Good Lord.
Right?
Each week on the podcast That Wouldn't Die, we discuss guilty pleasures and forgotten classics of the horror and sci-fi genre with a comedic twist. Aaron, what's the latest with you? Any burlesque foibles you want to share with us?
I'm going to go see Henry Rollins tomorrow doing spoken word poetry in town. I don't even have to drive.
He's coming to Bakersfield?
So cool.
He is coming to Bakersfield at one of the breweries. I'm going to go early and get some chicken wings and watch Henry Rollins.
Shit. Well, that's kind of how he did it, like when he was a rock star, too. It was a lot of spoken word, wasn't it?
Even when he was with Black Flag, he was still writing and publishing books.
Look at that. I remember he had a brief stint as an actor. Do you guys remember this?
Sons of Anarchy. What do you mean? He was amazing.
Maybe it's
still,
more than
I remember that.
Yeah.
I know that he was in Bad Boys 2, I think, and then I know he was in another. That's the only thing that comes to my head right now is that, but I know he's been in other movies that I just
briefly in Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. And he was in a movie, a guilty pleasure of my own, called The Chase with Charlie Sheen and Christy Swanson.
Oh.
Yeah. He had a big role in that, actually. He was a police officer, ironically enough, chasing them. There's all about like highway pursuits kind of things and the wacky hijinks you get into.
As far as acting goes, he's clearly better than a Costner. I mean, he pulls it off. I mean, when he was in Sons of Anarchy, he was like, of course he was a racist, but he was scary and sexy at the same time.
Well, he was in The New Guy and Lost Highway and Jack Frost, Johnny Mnemonic. A whole bunch of other.
Which Jack Frost?
The Michael Keaton one, the family one, the family Michael Keaton one, not the horror one.
Not the I'm an escaped serial rapist turned into a snowman.
Yes,
not that one.
Not the one that has a debut by Shannon Elizabeth. Not that one.
That's correct. 2 movies. I think they came out like within a year of each other too.
Yes, like what was about exactly a year because like the Jack Frost horror was like 96 and the family one was like 97,
Dynamite.
98 somewhere there.
Make sure you pick the right one, kids, when it's time to sit by the fire and do a family Christmas movie, okay? Or don't!
Here's the thing, too, Kevin and Aaron, for Christmas. You know what I had my family watch for Christmas Eve? It was my niece, my sister, her husband, my mom and dad. We all snuggled in for Christmas Eve. Guess what movie we watched?
Bad Santa.
Nope.
It wasn't Jack Frost, is what you're saying?
No, we watched Hereditary.
Apocalypse Now. Oh, Hereditary.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Although it's a good movie.
Oh.
We watched Hereditary as a family movie. Because it was my suggestion.
No. How did that go over, by the way?
It went pretty well, actually. But there's like, Jason, you can't pick up movies anymore for Christmas time.
I mean, I appreciate a good Ari Aster, but Hereditary, that's rough sledding, man. That is rough.
Because my niece is like a big fan of horror movies. I'm like, oh, you want to see a horror movie? All right. I'm going to make you feel really horrible. And Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I spent Christmas with our youngest sister with my parents, and they busted out Bad Santa because our 80-plus something parents had not seen that yet. Didn't quite make it all the way through.
No? How much you get?
Did they bail?
All, I don't even like it, but my parents were like about 30 minutes in. It was like, we're a little tired. I think we're going to go to bed. I was like, you're out of your mind.
I'll tell you what, though. The folks have gotten a little freer and easier as they've gotten older, truth be told. They're into stuff. Game of
Thrones?
It might be the Game of Thrones. It was a gateway. No question.
It was a gateway movie.
Sweet Lord. Aaron!
Yes.
Give us your 30-second synopsis of Pearl, if you will.
This is all you got to know. welcome to the new Wizard of Oz. Welcome to the new mother effing Wizard of Oz that includes Dorothy grinding on the Scarecrow.
No,
if you're into that, you're gonna dig it.
Fun story there, Aaron. My parents love this movie.
Oh.
It was actually much better and a higher quality production than I was expecting. I was expecting some Annabelle bullshit, some Nun 5, and actually they knew what they were doing.
Aaron, do you remember X? We reviewed it on the show. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, this is less repulsive in some ways than X.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Right?
I can see that.
You don't have a toothless woman sucking on you and trying to hump you. But all I want to know is the husband in X, is this the soldier that returns to the frickin' Norman Bates dinner party?
Yes.
It is.
That's Howard. Yep.
So there's another movie coming. Is that it?
There's that scene is the third one. That's what the character from Ets taking place after the events in Ets. That's supposed to be
okay. We have a gap here between between Pearl and X. It just seems like and then what happened?
So
go ahead.
Ets is with the bunch of kids that come to the farmhouse to shoot a X-rated film, and that's where we first meet the Pearl character, and she's in her 80s, and she's super horny, and if she doesn't get sex, she becomes a very rage monster and starts killing people, and
we all.
Which happens, you know? I mean, if her husband just gave her more attention down there, she would be okay. But no, that doesn't happen. And she gets really frustrated when she sees these other kids having sex because she's like, I can't do what I want to do. And it makes her think about all the things that she missed out in her life. So she has to start killing people. And that's what happens at Ets. Everyone dies. Spoiler alert, even Pearl dies because Maxine runs her over in a pickup truck. And so Maxine drives off, both played by the same character. Mia Goth plays Pearl and Maxine and X. So with Pearl right now we're getting the prequel, and that's going to show Pearl taking place in 1915 during the First World War. And Pearl is now living at this farm with her mother, her demanded mother. She has a father that is suffering from I think it was the Spanish influential flu.
Right.
I think he was suffering from someone pouring liquid morphine down his throat 24/7.
Well, that's what you had to do to keep the disease down or something like that.
That's just good science.
Influenza is the flu, and a lot of people died, but I mean, we weren't all swigging down during the COVID, although some were. But liquid morphine is what they give people at hospice. They're like, once you start on that, they ain't coming back.
Right. That's ball game right there. No question.
I just thought the dude just couldn't move.
40 cents. Yeah.
They didn't really explain it, but let me ask you this.
Okay.
Aaron and I, this is our first viewing of Pearl, correct?
I assumed it would be pure crap.
Vern, do you remember when you first saw this? Did you see this in the theater?
Oh, yeah. I definitely went to saw this in theaters because at the end of Ets, because I stayed for the whole credits of Ets after it was over with. And at the end of Ets, at least at my theater, they played a preview of Pearl. And right away,
right?
Yeah, they played a trailer for it. And know the fact that Ets has that grimy 70s slasher Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe to that one.
Yes.
And then you see the trailer for Pearl, and it's very lush and colorful and reminds me of like Douglas Sirk's melodramas, and it just beautiful. When Aaron mentioned The Wizard of Oz, yes, totally got that vibe for it. I'm like, oh shit,
Absolutely.
this looks like a totally different type of movie. And so I got excited by that just by the look and style of it. And the opening credits come on, and this movie's got the lush, like almost like CinemaScope aspect for it, and the
even the title cards, everything.
Absolutely.
Yes, towels come on there like this looks like a lush melodrama. This is like a Disney movie because you got the young girl and her dad's not dead, but her dad's kind of dying right there, and she has this dream of breaking out and becoming a dancer and wants to leave the farm. She's got this goal. Even the opening of the movie reminds me of like a Disney movie because she is sort of like dancing and she's talking to the animals. You sort of expect the animals to talk back to her. She's like, "Hi, pig." La, la, la. But don't you? I
kind of got a Gone with the Wind kind of look.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
1939, Gone with the Wind. But that's that CinemaScope, larger than life. Yeah.
No question. No question. Now, I really loved X.
I did too.
I saw it just kind of for fun. And immediately the next day, I'm like, Aaron, you have to go see X because we got to do it on the show.
Yeah. I dragged a bunch of my jackass friends and we ended up having to sit in the second row, like practically like I was like back in high school, with my half laying on the floor looking up.
Now, one thing that was interesting, Vern, is you actually posted a question on X, ironically, about people's feelings about the A24 studios. And I found it fascinating how people seemingly hate A24. Did you notice that as well?
I noticed that on there too. People are like, yeah, A24s are just not for me. It's not my bait. And, that's okay. Not all movies have to be for everybody. That's totally fine.
But I think they have a range, though.
Range?
Of course.
Range. So just to say, I just don't like A24. What's the rival? What's the other company?
Neon?
Well, Blumhouse is kind of horror. Obviously, Blumhouse is horror, but A24 has a whole range of types of films.
Well, A24's got that art house horror, the same thing as like Neon does. Neon does also a lot of art horse type of horror right there. And there's some people that don't like the slow burn. They want the horror to come right away. They don't want to wait for their horror. They want their scares to come.
Well, A24 did Let Me In. That was a punch in the face in 3 seconds.
You mean Talk to Me?
Talk to Me.
Yep.
Yes. They did Bodies, which I loved. Talk to Me, which I loved. I mean, I enjoy a lot of Ty West. I liked House of the Devil.
Oh, yes.
I mean, there's a lot of, it's quality. It's kind of my thing. It's like, you may not like everything they do, and that's fine. I appreciate that. But there's no question this isn't schlock.
No.
You know what I mean? There are artists doing stuff here.
They put their money where their mouth was. And Mia Goth and Ty West, they were working on this idea of Pearl while shooting X because I think this was filmed in New Zealand, or not New Zealand, but somewhere far away. It was shot somewhere where they had special access to this farm and location for a certain amount of time. And so while they're shooting X, Ty West was saying, well, shit, we've got this property for a little bit longer. We should try to make good use of it because they had this beautiful home. They had to make it look dirty and old because in the 1970s it was there for a while. So they thought, shit, let's put together a movie and we can show the house the way it used to be. And both Mia Goth and Ty West just came up with the prequel idea. They thought, hey, what would happen let's find out what this Pearl character is about. Let's see what she's doing before all the stuff happens in X. And they wanted to just, they originally thought about maybe doing it in black and white. But
like Wizard of Oz, and then something happened. Like maybe after she kills her parents, it turns to color or something.
Something like that, but it just didn't work out that way through budget reasons and studios. So they thought, well, we'll just make it into a very much a lush Technicolor story. And I don't know, what were your thoughts about this whole thing? It's basically being told in daylight. There's a few scenes in darkness, but essentially this is a horror film in daylight, very much like that Midsommar movie.
You know, my feeling about this is I kind of felt like I was only getting part of a story in a way. Okay. And I understand it's a prequel, but it's like we jump in and she's already crazy person. Right. She's already like, you see her, she's like singing and dancing and then just takes the pitchfork and kills the goose. Just for no reason, just to show that she's Jeffrey Dahmer. Or something along those lines. I mean, she, and then kind of when it ends and her husband comes back from the war, he seems like a normal dude, which is a far cry from where he ends up, you know, in the 70s, looking like one of the orcs from Lord of the Rings.
Well,
So
I can respect that too, Kev, but I think when you do watch the movie and see her interactions with both her parents, you can sort of see how she sort of became to be the way that she is, because her mother, she had dreams of wanting to be something else, and she wasn't able to achieve her goals. And so Pearl witnessing that and knowing that she's going to be kind of stuck here, that just really just starts to add the weight on her shoulder.
Most people just start drinking.
I
had friends who grew up in like Iowa. Their friends were always drinking. But I mean, her parents, I mean, the thing with her dad is weird, but her mom is just like the crazy German conservative. She's not Carrie White's mom. You know what I mean? She shouldn't be wiping her dad's butt, but she's not Carrie White's mom. She's just strict. And her mom references terrible, terrible things she's done that we know nothing about.
Oh,
I know the things you do when you think no one can see you. She makes some reference to
her dirty pillows.
Yes. That's 100% correct.
So you think that was sexual versus she's off killing people?
No.
What do you think?
That's not what I think.
I thought you meant maybe she was like watching her daughter masturbate.
That's not what I thought at all. I thought it was more of the goose skewering going down.
Or worse, because she's like, I gotta protect you from yourself. But it's like killing animals is the first thing. Bedwetting, killing animals.
It's like Michael Landon in The Loneliest Runner. That's how it all starts.
Michael Landon is Jeffrey Dahmer. And that's how I write my graphic novel.
It's fan fiction.
That's totally true. That's what I really like about the mom character is that when she has that speech to Pearl, you can sort of like recognize the pain and frustration that she is going through. So she's not like this like one-dimensional villain that's just there to like keep our heroine down. Right. There's a reason that she is the way she is, and I think that actor.
You do your duty. It's like I watch too many stuff on the royal family. It's like this is the life that you have. You have responsibilities. You have duties. You know, she didn't. As she said, she didn't sign up to her husband to be basically her child. This is not what she was. But you know, this is her responsibility. This is her lot in life. This is what's happened. Although, like once again, there's liquid morphine, an extra couple teaspoons.
I kept thinking that was going to be a reveal, right? I mean, they kind of showed us that the medicine, quote unquote, was the morphine,
right?
But you wondered if it was kind of like slowly poisoning the husband, like somebody's. Making him the way he is.
Yes, like he was going to leave the mom and something happened and she's just been drugging him.
I don't think he's been drugging. I think that because of the flu, it just left him incapacitated. Right. So he's just very sick because of it. I think they just give him some medicine just to make sure that he's still alive or make sure he can eat right. That's basically it. But you have to admit, that actor, his name is Matthew Sunderland, did an amazing job without saying one single word in that. That moment when Pearl is pushing him to the deck to like feed him to the alligator. And you just see that look in his face, or even when she's in the bathtub and he's just there by her side and all you just see is just his face and just the twitch in his eyes right there. That was just like masterful acting, and the dude did not say one single effing word. It was just...
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where I thought Pearl was a dum-dum. Really, how are you going to explain Dad fell in the alligator? You got liquid morphine. It's like 2 cents.
He can't move himself. We've established that. So you pushing him into the gator pond, I mean, there's going to be questions. But I guess not. I mean, no one ever asks, so who knows?
Oh.
The fact that she is friendly with her sister-in-law, I thought was weird, only because she is so odd. She's not a normal person, and I just don't think she could hold it together long enough to actually sustain a friendship.
And they kind of say, the mom says that people are afraid of you. If people saw you, you'd scare them.
And she was correct.
And it seems to me that the sister-in-law didn't come around that much. Right. And when she did, it might have been to like bigger family events. And I'm sure she probably talked to Pearl, like in sports. Like you've been to family reunions before. You talk to a few people. There's probably one person at a family reunion that you maybe have a short sentence with there, but you don't spend a lot of time with them. But you spend enough time so that if they do go crazy, they're not going to kill you first. That type of thing. Right? We've had that.
No question.
Maybe that's just me. That may be just me they're referring to. I'm not quite sure, but I'm pretty sure.
You definitely want to make sure the crazy relatives don't kill you first.
Just, that guy was like sharpening a blade right there, and he's got the hunting dog by him. He's got the wild eyes and drinking Jolts soda.
Well, what do they say? You don't have to be faster than the bear. You just have to be faster than the slowest person.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it's the same thing. Absolutely, plant those seeds.
Be faster than the Pearl, that's coming after you.
Be faster than the Pearl. And we have to talk about that. When the sister-in-law's quote-unquote running for her life, not much of a run. I got to be honest.
I mean, when she started...
the inevitable fall.
When she started... I say when she started giving that speech... That beautiful speech that Mia Goth gives as Pearl. Mm-hmm. During the moment of that's when the sisters should be going like, "Okay, I'm gonna I'll just be like, keep talking. I'm going into the bathroom, honey. I can hear you from the bathroom. All right, just keep talking. I hear you. Don't worry, I hear you." And then just go to the bathroom, flush the toilet, and then just run out of there. Just get out of there. That's what I would have done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and I guess we're supposed to believe
that's when she's chasing you down. You needed to, when it was over, you need to go to her, give her a hug, and said, "I'm sure it's gonna be okay." You have to reassure. Let's go get tea tomorrow, and then you get the out of there.
Well, what is it? Like Pearl, they establish can feel like she's an empath or something. Like she can just tell. Like when the projectionist is like, "Deuces, I'm out of here." She's like, "Well, hang on. Why are you suddenly all cold? I have this ability to sense emotions."
All right, but you didn't sense that he's just showing you porn to get with you? You didn't sense that?
That's always a tried and true method, I have to tell you. First date, pull out the porn. The ladies love it.
First date in 15?
Yes.
Let me show you some erotica.
Well, hold on here, because these were from France, okay?
Art house films.
They're art house films. These are not porn films. These are tasteful, avant-garde foreign films, all right? Don't be such a snob, okay?
They're exotic. Absolutely. No question. Here, I have a very serious question. Maybe you guys can answer this. Does Pearl have eyebrows?
Not much.
I
had an ex-boyfriend like that. He always had like glasses with like a dark rim on top, and then he'd take his glasses off, and you realize he had almost no eyebrows.
Yeah,
it's
Mia Goth doesn't. It's like both Mia Goth and like Tilda Swinton are from the same queen alien species that gave birth to them. Like, I would not be surprised if they are like
to pair them up.
Hybrid alien creatures that are there to enslave us and impregnate us, or we're supposed to impregnate them.
I smell an Italian director, and this is going to be an amazing movie.
I mean, the thing about eyebrows is you never realize how important they are until you don't see them, and then you're like, "Whoa, so something's just a little off here."
I don't know. It's for some reason, but there's some people you don't have eyebrows on, and it works for them. And Mia Goth, I gotta say, it works for her. It's not too bad. I think if she did have eyebrows, it would be a little bit weird.
Do you?
I do.
Weird Harry Brookshield eyebrows.
Peter Gallagher eyebrows.
Peter Gallagher unibrow. God. I want to see what the Abe Vigoda. Did you notice that the animals should all be dead because she went to feed him and basically threw in like a handful of hay? A cow needs more than a single like handful of hay. By the way,
I just imagine that the mom just did most of the work for her and just kind of made things up for it.
She's just trying to get her to get the out of the house for a little while.
I will say this: you want to see something crazy? Do look up the actor. Maybe I got her name wrong there. No, I think I do. I wish I knew the name of the mother instead of give me their
I mean, I could look it up.
Name.
That's what I do here.
Well, yeah, look up who played Pearl's mom in Pearl, because I have different names here.
Pearl's mom was played by Tandy Wright.
Okay, look at pictures of her, because I gotta say, that's a great makeup job, because she is actually quite beautiful.
She's pretty, absolutely. Yeah. And eyebrows.
She has eyebrows there, but I never would expect that to be that person. So good job.
Did Mia Goth have eyebrows in the first movie, or was this a choice for Pearl?
I don't know.
I'm looking. Well, I'm looking at pictures right now.
A stylized thing because she's watching the movies, and back in the days, it.
Well, she does. She does have eyebrows, but they look like they're painted on.
Eyebrows.
They look very much painted on. I'm looking at it right now.
There's a hint of an eyebrow, if you will.
I mean, that was a style around that time.
In 1918?
I don't know. In the 20s?
No eyebrows?
No, painted in.
Oh. She's a farm girl with the thickest accent in the world, by the way. Where is this? It's Texas, correct?
Yeah, but like her mom's German, right?
Right.
Her mom's German, and she has a giant crocodile in the front yard, or something along those lines.
Because Texas has all. I remember when I went to Austin, I had to be real careful of all the alligators.
They're everywhere, everywhere. No, I thought there was going to be a scene where it's like, I don't know, a traveling salesman comes to town and sells her a little baby gator, and then over the 70 years, it grows like it's that movie Alligator. That's
Alligator.
How it starts. Absolutely. That's how it starts. Good grief. That thing was freaking huge, by the way.
Alligator is a very huge alligator. That's right. Go check it out, kids. It's a great, fun movie.
It is a lot of fun. Absolutely. You can't go wrong with a giant alligator on your property. I mean, it's a horror movie.
Did you notice all the kind of references to X when watching this movie? You know, you got to the alligator.
No.
That was cool.
Yeah. Alligators there. What else? What are the other references?
And then there was, when she was doing her big audition and she was on the X thing on stage and they said we needed the X Factor.
Oh, yes. X Factor, absolutely.
I was so absorbed in trying to pick up Wizard of Oz references that I saw nothing else. Like, her sister-in-law is Glinda. She kills Glinda, right?
Yes.
Oh, shit, just because she's blonde?
And sweet.
There you go.
So they kind of reversed that by killing the good witch instead of the bad witch. So are we going to say that is our lead heroine, she is Dorothy in this?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
But is she also kind of the wicked witch of the West as well? And
yeah, I would say that. It's not her mom. I mean, she can play both parts. She's trapped in Kansas. And she's on her way to Oz, baby. Nothing's holding her back now.
There's that scene when she's riding the bicycle to town that reminded me very much of the witch when she rode the bicycle.
Yeah, I got that. Like you said, the mounting of the poor scarecrow.
Oh my god!
Give consent, by the way.
There's no consent. And dressed exactly like the Wizard of Oz, and that terrifying face. I thought a skull was going to roll out.
That's true. I love that sequence of her and the scarecrow where the music comes on. It's very lush and they're dancing. And then she brings the scarecrow on the ground to make out with him. And then just halfway through that, she just yells out, "I'm married." And then she decides to it. Just gets right on there, starts grinding away. And I'm watching with one of my roommates and he's like, "Yeah, that's right. You go." And I wasn't quite sure if there was like an actor being the Scarecrow and whatnot. And if that was me, I would be like, I'm sorry, I gotta do another take. I messed up. I apologize. I was not. My blocking was off. Can we just do that take again? Because yes.
No, I don't think there was anybody in there, but it was creepy as
A stunt double. Yeah, they put
It was
somebody
creepy.
in there.
It was creepy, but just a little part of me is like, yeah, that's actually kind of a turn on. That's just how my brain works sometimes.
Very
Like,
specific kind of porn.
that was a very, yeah, like, oh wait, is that a thing to is that like I'm sure, okay, the rule book of like porn, if you think of it, it's a thing. So is there like some sort of fetish where you have to lay still and pretend to be dead, and women would
I'm
have?
sure there is.
This would be like a dead furry.
It's filled with straw. That's not furry. That would be like kind of rough.
That's the closest thing I can come up with.
That's probably a good thing. Sweet Lord. Okay, here's a question.
There's something on the dark web that can point us in the right direction.
I'm sure you're probably right. Here's my question, and this is kind of indelicate. Mia Goth, if you're listening, no offense. Is she supposed to be kind of a temptress, or is she supposed to be kind of just like kind of a backward country girl?
I think she's kind of a really dangerous innocent.
Okay.
She's easily taken advantage of.
But I mean, when men see her, are they drawn to her, or are they just like
they're drawn to her because she's easily manipulated? A certain type.
Like that sweet innocent type that men can feel like, well, you haven't been around the world much lately, all right? And you're dreaming about Hollywood, sweetheart. Well, I'll tell you the best way to get to Hollywood is to do these other things, and
Chicago.
I'll help you. Yeah,
it's like
Renee
the Muppet
Zellweger
movie
in Chicago.
It's the Muppet movie.
There? It's the Muppet movie.
What part of the Muppet movie did like Peggy get like swindled by some porn producers? Is this like the European cut? I don't remember this Muppet movie.
Who's to say? Well, it's like the movie Fame. Now I'm bringing all these movies out where the poor Irene Cara gets called into the movie producer's office. Uh-oh. Not that kind of movie. Oh, what a feeling. Anyway.
Flashdance?
Yeah, that's the wrong. She doesn't sing. She sings "Oh, What a Feeling" in Flashdance. What does she sing? She sings "Fame" in Fame.
Out there on my own.
I don't know what she sings in Fame. I never saw Fame. I had no idea that it was. Never.
Irene Cara is in Fame and
she's
sings a couple songs.
She sings Fame. I want to live forever.
I want to live forever.
Yeah.
And out there on my own.
Then she kind of had her own hit. So she sang "Oh, What a Feeling" from Flashdance, but she's not in Flashdance.
Okay, so she was in Fame. She had sets with the producers, and then she went on to make songs for Flashdance. Everybody wins, right?
I don't know if she wins.
Thank you, Harvey.
You know,
get something out of it.
It's a joke.
Quid pro quo, Clarice.
I'm sorry. It's not. I don't know what happens in Fame, so I'm not going to say that for sure.
It's the high school for the performing arts, and everybody's either killing themselves or dropping out. It does have a dark side to it.
There's a dark side, no question. Let's bring it back to Pearl.
Let's bring it back to the lighter side of
a movie like Fame to the later wholesome activities of Pearl. Yes,
absolutely. What do you guys got? What other scenes do you guys want to talk about from the highlights?
Oh gosh, we talked already about the speech that she gives. I remember seeing that scene in theaters, and everyone's voice just like drops. And you can I could hear people crying in my theater watching that scene.
In the house.
Everyone was like,
which scene are we crying over?
The scene where she's talking to her friend, and her friend she wants to tell her friend, Pearl wants to tell her friend is acting as her husband, and her friend's like, just tell me, and she says, Howard, I loved you, but I hated you for leaving me here. And she talked about the fact that she had a baby and lost it, and she talked about all her hopes and dreams. I was just very surprised that in this slasher horror film that you're going to have like almost a 8-minute dialogue scene where it's just one actor talking and just being so invested in that moment. I was just totally surprised, was not expecting it. And I was not expecting to be so emotionally caught up with it. And I was.
She was bringing it.
And I gotta admit, it did make me shed tears when I watched it. And then I looked over and I saw other people were sniffing and, trying to hold. And I'm like, God damn, Ty West, you go. And Mia Goth, God damn. This is why I wish more award shows would look at more horror films, not just think of horror films as just being trash cinema and all that.
No, I mean, it's definitely a performance, but I have to go back. What part of it made you cry? I mean, she's kind of revealing that she's like a psychopath and that she only married him because he could take her away to the big house, beautiful house, and instead...
Not the big house, but she is going to end up there.
It's just the part where she just expresses that, her dreams are never going to kind of come true.
Yeah.
And the admit of defeat there, and doesn't matter what she does, she's not going to get what she wants, and she just...
Her dreams are dead.
It's that one line that her mom says in the beginning, like, just... work on what you have. Worry about where you are right now or what you have. I'm not good at paraphrasing lines from movies. That's why I'm horrible at games where they give quotes of shit. I'm like, I don't know where that's from. And like, yeah, so, but that moment that her mom tells her and I'm, blah. That's it.
Did you assume he was dead, that she killed him? They kept showing these scenes of the soldier walking up the street. I assumed that he had come back and was going to work on the farm and she had killed him.
I just thought that was just another soldier that kind of looked like him, but not him.
It was the same guy over and over.
It might have been. I think it was kind of like, because we know that the dude is alive in X. So we know at some point the husband comes back.
So it was the same name? You remember the name?
Well, I didn't. I went and looked, but after the fact, I cheated.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But yes,
I mean, it could have been if you hadn't looked it up. It's possible that the husband in X showed up later on.
I mean, and that's true. Although we know he fought in the war. Like in X, there's like pictures of like him in uniform and stuff. I think on some level it was her because she said, "When you left me, I wished you would die." That was a reveal. So this might be kind of a fantasy that she's having of her husband blowing up.
And what do you think her real feelings about her husband? I mean, clearly she left her mom downstairs rattling around and just locked her up until she knew she was dead with no ill effect whatsoever. Does she love her husband?
Well, she really... that's a good question, Aaron. I really thought she thought her husband was going to take her away from all of that.
That's the only reason why she married him, she said.
Yep.
So then why did she stay with him? Because if it's not a love connection, so why doesn't she just get rid of him too and away they go?
I think it was a simpler time. I mean, it's like, Sarah played in tall.
Very complicated. First of all, by setting everybody up around the dinner table, that was complicated.
I think, like back in the old West, you would literally, answer an ad in the paper, and then that's your wife.
Yeah.
And that's it. You're good to go.
He may be the only one that knows how to drive. So he has to be able to drive to get her to go to town and do other things. So I think she still needs him around to help her out. She's gonna need someone to help, dispose of the bodies. Okay, she can't do that shit all by herself. She's a strong woman, Aaron, but she does need some help, and she needs love and support of her husband. And we know that her husband is a pushover because of X, and he'll do basically anything for her, even help kill people for her. So I think Howard is one of those guys that never had much dates, was very much a nerdy guy that barely had any friends. And here comes Pearl, and Pearl is pretty, psycho true, but she is pretty, and she is nice to him. So he's thinking, shit, this is probably the best that I'm ever gonna have. So it doesn't matter if she's crazy. Okay, so she kills a few people. All right.
Including your sister, bruh.
And I'm sure he's sad about that too. But he's like, no,
What's
this
one looking for?
this
No
may
one's
be.
looking for any of these people.
Say that
So
again.
what you're saying, the Vern, is I just need to get in touch with some of these incel people on the internet, like I hear about on the Fox News. I offer them sex, and then they're my murder robots. Is that what? Is that all it
Yes,
takes? I can start making the list now.
that's correct. 100%.
He doesn't. He
People
doesn't.
who piss me off. Here you go.
This is the early 1920s. You know, this dude has no idea about finding groups of people. He's like, hey, this girl's talking to me. She's nice. And
So
he
you're
doesn't.
saying it would be too complicated now. That scenario only works at the turn of the last century.
But yes, it was almost that way. All right.
Well, timey murder.
We really do. Yes. Now in X, we established that what they kidnap hitchhikers and chain them up in the basement for sexual pleasure of Pearl. Like,
Correct.
90-year-old Pearl still getting hers.
She's
from
got an itch.
drifters.
It needs to be scratched.
Wait, was that what happened there? They're tying people up in the basement so
Remember
that.
that? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I
That's-
remember that was she like getting herself off with them or something like that.
Yes,
Like
they were her sex slaves.
Yes. It was, what the reveal is, I think it's Jenna Ortega, if I'm remembering this correctly.
yeah,
Breaks into, like, she's locked downstairs when she investigates the house, and she discovers kind of the desiccated corpse of some drifter with his pants down around his ankles.
I remember that. So she was having these guys tied up while they were alive, and she would just go
It
down
was
there
her
and like
sex farm.
jerk them off and just pleasure herself with them.
I didn't go
Oh,
that deep.
would be his pleasure. I guess she climbed him like a monkey. I don't know.
Yes, that's correct. Look, I'm not going into the logistics
You know,
of how this works. That's a bridge too far.
are there clubs that like do this stuff? Is there like a number I can call? Is there a website?
Dark web.
I would say Google it.
Dark web.
I would say Google it, but
incel
don't.
lover will point you to the right direction.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't ask these questions. You don't want to know the answer, and neither do I, frankly.
That's probably true. Sorry. Oh.
Well,
damn.
I mean, and that's the thing about these movies. X was very much an homage to the 70s era, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Eaten Alive, some of those other kind of late 70s, mid 70s slasher type things, kind of a gritty look that they were going for. Then
And
they
this
sprinkled.
is a homage to the Wizard of Oz.
Right.
So we got everything covered.
Well, they made sure to sprinkle in the bizarro sex on top of everything to add a little extra flavor. So,
Scarecrows need love too. Okay, come on now.
if I only had a brain.
Totally fun.
Sweet Jesus, poor Scarecrow. Any other thoughts and feelings about Pearl before we go behind the scenes?
I
Like I
like.
said, I thought it was going to be trash, but it was pretty good.
I very impressed with it. I love the whole audition dance sequence where they're doing the whole kick line
Yep.
with all the other soldiers and everything. I thought that was really cool. I love the dinner sequence when her mother tells her about all the dreams that she had, and she was disappointed that she has to. Basically, her husband is now her child. I thought that Tandy Wright girl was acting just very good. All the actors in this movie are really good. They are just giving it their all. And I was like, damn.
Like you said, they developed the characters. It wasn't just this flat, like, slasher. Mia Goth's character during that long confessional monologue, her mom revealing her past. I thought that was all good stuff.
Absolutely. I mean,
that's what brought it to another level.
I liked how during the fight with the mom had evidently been just lathered with napalm. So the moment like a spark hits her, she just goes up like a Christmas tree. Boom. So that
and then a big pot of boiling soup right on top to make matters worse.
To make matters worse. Absolutely. No, the performances were top drawer all the way. The production quality was dynamite.
I want to learn more. I want to know. And how do you, first of all, how do you explain this to your husband? And then how do you get him on board?
That's the question.
Because X already tells you that. You already know that he's on board when he starts chaining dudes up in the basement.
I want to see what happens next because they show pictures. Like, obviously, she does work her way into some carnival sideshow or something. Weren't there pictures in the house of her performing and things like that?
Like in a tutu or something? I'm trying to remember.
Yes. There was something like that. So at some point, she does dabble in show business somehow.
Well, we're not getting that. We're getting Matt Scene, which takes place in the mid-'80s.
Right.
And it's how, X was a tribute to 70s slasher movies, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all that stuff. And Pearl was a tribute to Wizard of Oz and lush Technicolor films. Matt Scene is going to be an homage to Brian De Palma films. So, like, Dress to Kill.
Not so good. Is that what you mean?
Body Double and Dress to Kill. That
Absolutely. Type of thing. Two of my favorites. I love those. Look, ladies and gentlemen.
Carrie's his best film.
Carrie's great.
Carrie's a masterpiece.
No question. No question. But if you want just bonkers hilarity, check out Body Double. Check out Body Double. It is off the wall craziness. So
featuring the debut of Barbara Crampton.
Absolutely. No Reanimator. But naked as a jaybird.
Yep.
We talked about we did Body Double on the show. Her one scene is Craig Wasson opens up the door. She kind of like turns, looks at the camera, and just kind of shrugs. Sorry, I'm busy having sex with a stranger. Never see her again. Good times. So that'll be perfect for Pearl. Or Maxine.
When's Maxine come out?
2024. That's all that was said. I don't know. There's no. The only trailer they have is they do that song from Animotion. Do 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 do. You're my obsession. You're my obsession.
My selection. Yeah.
What you want me to do to spend the night with you? You are obsession. You're my obsession.
Like some Sinatra spoken word biz.
So it shows like the Hollywood sign. And then the back of the Hollywood sign, and then it turns around, and then you see the Hollywood sign says Matt Scene, and that's all they have for a trailer for Matt Scene. So
now, Animotion, for a brief period of time, had Cynthia Rhodes as one of the singers. And if you remember Cynthia Rhodes, she was in Dirty Dancing. She was the girl who gets pregnant. That
she did not have the time of her life.
Very upsetting. And I may be losing my mind, Cynthia Rhodes was also married to Richard Marx for a few years there.
Oh,
tied all together.
Why am I thinking? Wait, Cynthia Rhodes, the girl that was a martial arts fighter? But no, that's Cynthia Rothrock, not Cynthia Rhodes.
Cynthia Rothrock is the female martial artist. No relation.
I did see Animotion last year, and they stunk. Just to let you know.
Not with Cynthia Rhodes, you didn't.
No.
So there you go. She was the heart and soul of Animotion. Sweet Lord. Okay, here we go. Behind the scenes.
Yes.
Tandy Wright, who played Pearl's mother, was the intimacy coordinator on X. And
intimacy coordinator.
This is a thing, Aaron. You may not be aware of it. Back in the day, if they had a sex scene, they just turn on the cameras and let them do what they do. Now, they literally have basically like a dance coordinator, but it's for intimacy. To establish, what are we doing? We're choreographing this so you don't get Harvey Weinstein stepping in there and offering to help out, basically. So she became the role of Ruth in this movie, and she had to learn German for the role, and she became so convincing in her accent that she fooled 2 German members of the crew.
Nice. And why do they have German members of the crew?
They need to work as well.
Is this Eastern Bloc filmed? Is that what the story is?
I have talked to a few filmmakers who hate the whole intimacy coordinator. I interviewed one director. Her name was Deborah Twist, and she gets frustrated with the intimacy coordinators because she said that just makes people ashamed about what they're doing for a scene. And so I know filmmakers that have really big problems with intimacy coordinators. They're saying that they can't.
Go ahead.
Well, they're saying that they can't trust the actors to communicate with the directors.
I get that, but I'm also very much like, these are not a married couple in real life or whatever the case may be, right? So you can't just assume they already know what's okay and what's not okay.
I mean, if you're going to be in a movie about adult filmmakers who are shooting an adult film and it says in the script that you're going to have sets in these positions right there, I mean, you should be knowing what you're doing. And if I'm in a scene with a partner that is doing like set acts, I would talk to them and be like, all right, where should I not touch you? Where should I be? I would like to communicate with my actor and then communicate with the director. But you know what, director, I don't want you to shoot me from this angle. All right.
You got
shoot
that, you got lighting.
Well,
it all has to be like. I was listening to, you must remember this podcast about erotic 90s. She did a whole thing about the 70s, 80s, 90s and sexuality in film. And I'm blanking on the director or the movie, but he would just shout, now go over here. Let's go over there. I don't know if that's worse than just being choreographed.
These are important questions.
Well,
Demi Moore was one of the actresses. She said it made it easier and less stressful when someone's specifically telling you what to do in what is an awkward situation.
Right. That's what it is.
Hey. And most of the times too, when they shoot those scenes, they're just trying to get like the best shot. Like there's that famous scene with Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly with the Wachowskis, and the Wachowskis are just sort of like just yelling out actions for them to do, and that's all it is. They're just doing the actions. It's not about Gina Gershon and Jennifer Tilly not actually getting together with each other, but that's have to do those
they discussed too.
Yeah, they had to do that intricate ways to make the shots the way it is. So I don't know,
and avoid the NC-17.
Yeah, like
I understand. I mean, I can see why some people might feel more comfortable having kind of an advocate to kind of.
If people want to choose to have one, that should be a thing. It should be someone that we get to choose to have on set. It should not be someone that has to be required for a film. I think filmmakers and actors should vote and choose.
Ti West and Mia Goth collaborated on this script via FaceTime during a mandatory 2-week quarantine due to the COVID-19 epidemic in New Zealand prior to filming X. They had only
in New Zealand. That's why there were so many Germans.
That's 100%. So they only hoped A24 would agree to make the film Pearl, but fortunately, it was greenlit after filming began on X. So there you go.
Well, good. Hey, thank you, COVID.
Exactly.
Which is something I don't usually say. But without COVID, we may not get Pearl. So again, thank you, COVID. All right. That's the only thing you're going to get thankful for.
I enjoyed working from home.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed rolling out of bed, making a cup of coffee, and logging in.
The pornographic film shown to Pearl is A Free Ride from 1915, a real vintage stag film.
Oh.
So there you go. It's real.
Gas, grass, or ass.
That's what I was just going to say. A free ride. Yes, it has multiple meanings as well. So there you go.
Deep. That's deep.
People just want their porn anywhere. All right. It wasn't even that good. I mean, I don't know.
It was a trendsetter.
Do they actually have, and like, you know how they had like important films about the pizza delivery guy that comes in? Oh my gosh. What would be the 1915 version of that? Like, hair.
Just an old man with a mustache putting his hand on your naked hoo-ha.
Well, I mean, do they have like, hi, we didn't order, would it be a guy like delivering a chicken? You're like, hey, I've got this chicken for you. And the guy's like, oh no, I can't pay for the chicken. I guess we can have sets now.
It's a traveling salesman.
Yep.
Okay.
A lot of
He's
chicken
music,
deliveries.
Man. He's a what? He's a what? He's the music, man.
To prepare for the tone of this movie, director co-writer Ti West suggested that Mia Goth watch Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and The Wizard of Oz.
Good.
Boom.
Good one right there.
Yeah, not bad. First screenwriting and producing credits for lead actor Mia Goth, because she was, as we said, involved in basically the entire creation of the script. So there you go. Boom.
Boom.
Let's see. Last thing. Originally meant to be filmed in black and white, but A24 was against it, so it was made in extremely vivid colors. Like they went and tried to find
It's
colors.
Technicolor.
Yes.
It looked like Technicolor.
Absolutely. That's what they were going for. Kind of
Like
went the 180
Kodachrome or
degrees.
something with like the super saturation. I thought it was a great idea.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and look at the cast and crew, shall we?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Directed and written by Ty West. You know him from such things as Pearl,
Yeah.
X, The Innkeepers in 2011,
Don't know that.
The House
was
of the
alright.
Devil, 2009.
House of the Devil is great. House of the
Never
Devil
saw
is like a long lost horror film VHS that you found. The way they made that movie look like an older feature was absolutely amazing stuff. And I think Jocelyn Donahue, the lead actor, does a good job. We got appearance from Barbie director Greta Gerwig in there.
Yes, as
So-
an actor.
Tom Noonan is in there as well.
Yep.
From Manhunter, he's great in that.
All sorts of good stuff. Okay, cast. Mia Goth played Pearl. You know her from such things, and I'm looking at her picture. She has the barest wisp of an eyebrow in pretty much everything that she does. So good on her.
I wonder
you-
if she's just a naturally very blonde person.
You know her from Pearl, X, Suspiria in 2018, and The
Nice.
Infinity Pool from 2023.
I did not see that.
I remember her from watching Nymphomaniac Volume 2.
Yep.
That's the first thing I saw her in.
I think the first thing I saw her in, she was in Emma. She was kind of, she was in the Emma with, what's her name? Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, I've not seen that one yet.
Yeah. So she played like the kind of mousy, kind of homely friend who was going to marry what am I thinking of? I don't remember.
Oh.
she played a role in it. Good grief.
She's also going to
there
be in
she
the
is.
upcoming. She's going to be in the upcoming Blade movie coming out, and there's a new
Oh, really?
Frankenstein movie directed by Guillermo del Toro, and she's going to be playing the Bride of Frankenstein. In that.
Really? Well,
Yep.
now I have to check
Souring
this
on
out.
Guillermo.
Oh, how dare you.
That's what he gets.
David
That-
Cornsweet played the nameless projectionist. He's just
Wait.
credited as
What,
projectionist.
Corn sweat
Did you
or
say porn sweat?
His name is Corin Sweat.
No, okay.
Sometimes you just gotta change the family.
I'm sorry, Kev. Somebody said David Porn Sweat. No, sorry, David Corn Sweat.
That's
All right.
correct.
What
You
did he
know him-
do?
He was in Pearl. He was in 6 episodes of We Own This City. He was in 11 episodes of The Politician. He was in
Are
Look
these
Both
American
Ways.
shows?
I don't know,
These are-
possibly.
Possibly not.
The only thing I know about him is he's been cast as Clark Kent Superman in the next Superman Legacy movie with Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane.
I hate all Superman shit. I hate
He kind of
Wow.
you can see that though, that he has kind of a Clark Kenty Superman kind of look about him.
I can see that, but he's like Clark Kent in his like mid 40s. That he's been Superman for a while, and he just decided to let his
back
turn
isn't
go.
what it used to be.
Oh, very
He's
upsetting.
Raunchy, you know.
Let's see. Tandy Wright, actress, additional crew, soundtrack. She's very talented. She was in 10 episodes of The Returned.
I don't know what that is.
She
Is
was
that
the
a-
queen in Jack the Giant Slayer.
Didn't see that either.
She was in 31 episodes of Nothing Trivial
No.
and 12 episodes of Creamery.
Those are
Oh,
not American shows.
Who's to say?
I have no idea who these are.
I'm just going out on the limb and just putting that out there.
Let's see. Mitzi was played by Emma Jenkins Perot. And you know
Ross
her?
Perot?
Well,
Is that his granddaughter?
could be. Known for Pearl. There you go. Since
That's
then, well, she's only been in 5 things total. She was in Bygones, which was a short in 2002.
No.
She was in 2 episodes of One of Us is Lying
No.
in 2022. 1 episode of My Life is Murder TV series in 2022.
Never heard of that.
And something called The Brokenwood Mysteries, 1 episode in 2021.
None of this is American either.
Not ringing any bells?
No.
Nah.
Nope.
Let's talk about the rating, shall we?
Shall
Okay.
we?
Pearl currently has 93% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Boom.
Nicely done.
Out of mine.
Do you know
Bravo.
what do you know what the audience gave it?
An 87.2.
Ooh.
87.2. I'm going to take a guess here. I'm not looking this up right now. I'm going to say 88.
82%.
82%. Okay.
82%. Respectful.
Not bad.
Let's look at the top critics available
Rex
to
Reed?
us. Maybe. Let's see. Richard Roper of the Chicago Sun-Times says...
Is he still alive, or is this the ghost of Richard Roper,
Nope.
written by staff?
Roper's still alive. He's
Roper's
still
still
pushing
doing
through.
his
Mr. Roper?
There's nothing wrong with Richard Roper as far as I know.
Huh.
Let's see. Goth delivers an electrifying and truly scary performance. 3.5 out of 4.
Hey, nice.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can get a Rex read. Here we go. Peter Bradshaw, Guardian.
All right.
Perhaps I shouldn't have enjoyed Pearl as much as I did, but it's clever, limber, gruesome, and brutally well acted. A gem. 5 out of 5. Boom!
How is it limber? Can someone define the limber part?
It's very limber.
Limber.
Is that when she's grinding the scarecrow? 'Cause she's very limber.
She's very limber.
She does have some flexibility to her right there. All right.
She stretched before filming.
Yeah, she
let's
did.
Yes, absolutely. Yoga. Hannah Strong from Little White Lies says, those who found something to like in the strangely sex-negative X might get something out of this. Or you could
Right.
just watch an actually good film about ambition and obsession. My goodness.
My.
That was not a
Shots
positive
fired.
review.
No, what you expect to have for this one? I mean,
She was not a fan, evidently.
That's not-
well, you know what? I'm not a fan of Little White Lies. What kind of like site is that for movie reviews?
I don't even know what that is.
It sounds like you're lying to me already. It's like this, the title, the art, the paper or whatever is Little White Lies. So everything you say is a lie. Is that what I'm supposed to believe here, Miss Writer? That you're lying to me now? I think so.
It's possible. No question. No question at all.
Okay.
Aaron, what is your rating for Pearl? Take a
The
minute.
more we talk about it, the more I like it.
Hey,
Ooh.
I was going to come in with a 3, which is my average rating.
yeah.
The regular.
That's my regular rating. But now I think I'm going to boost it up. So I'm going to give it 3 3/4 out of 5.
5. Okay.
Mia Goth skewering me with a pitchfork.
Fair enough. Vern, what is your rating?
All right. Well, I love Etz. Etz is like, when I saw that, I'm like, damn, I don't know if anything could really top Etz, because Etz, I gave that one a 4 out of 5. And when I saw Pearl, I was like, holy shit, that's it. That blew all my expectations up high. I'm doing a 5 out of 5, baby.
Holy.
There's-
Oh,
there's
you
not
liked it better than X?
I liked it better than Etz. I thought there was not one wasted moment in Pearl. Like, all the scenes just flow together. I thought all the actors were top notch. Even
Yep.
that alligator was a good actor. All right, just did everything right. The fact that they can have an actor express so much emotion with just his face. Fuck yeah. Mia Goth just doing it all out there, making you care about a character that you should not actually care about it reminded me very much of the movie May with Angela Bettis, where she plays also a character who is unhinged that you should not love at all, but you actually do like her very much. Yes, totally. Pearl is absolutely great. I cannot wait for Matt Scene. I hope I'm not disappointed. I hope this doesn't become like a Godfather situation where like the Godfather was good, Godfather Part 2 was even better, and then Godfather 3 was Godfather 3 at stage. Yeah.
Sofia Coppola.
I don't blame her for that.
I do.
Don't blame her for that because she was helping out her dad, okay? Her dad lost Winona Ryder, was able to cast her. So Sofia Coppola's like, Dad, I'll help you out. You want to make this movie? You're in debt from making that One from the Heart movie that you did in 84 or whatever. I'll help you out. She was being a good daughter for her dad, okay? So don't put that on her.
That's ridiculous. Come on. There's a million actors who would have been happy to slide right. Dad, I know you can't get anybody on the horn right now. I'll slide.
Well, she
no acting.
You got no juice, Dad.
She doesn't know. I mean, at that time, she wasn't quite sure what her dad asked for, but her dad asked her to do a role, and she's like, sure, I'll do that. And plus, if it wasn't for her being in The Godfather Part 3, she would not learn how to make a movie, and then she would not go on to make Lost in Translation, Marie Antoinette, Priscilla.
Lost in Translation, one of the best films in the whole world.
Yeah, see, so we have to thank The Godfather Part 3 for doing that, so yes.
Now, if Scarlett Johansson said, I have to bow out, would she have put herself in that as well to help herself out?
Oh, no.
If Bill Murray had stepped out, she would have slid into that role.
Absolutely. No question.
Maybe.
I enjoyed this movie. I feel like I enjoyed X more. I thought X was kind of funny. You know, it had all the kind of throwback things that I appreciated, but also had kind of a funny quality to it.
And it had a little vomity quality to it.
It had those moments, no question. There's no question this movie is well made, well acted, well directed. I mean, the choices that they make on the screen. My biggest complaint is I felt like it's not an entire movie. Like it's just kind of a day in the life of Pearl kind of
that was
situation.
A busy day.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It was a busy day.
There's a lot to do there.
There's a lot to do there, no question. So I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5.
Fair enough.
I enjoyed X more.
Sure.
But Pearl was decent.
I'm going to recommend it. I'm going to go recommend it to my friends that I saw X with. I think they'll enjoy it.
Would you recommend to any of your friends, Kev? Would you recommend people see this?
I would say if you enjoyed X, then you should probably check out Pearl as well. Yeah. I would agree with that.
I told my parents to watch this movie, and they have not seen X yet, but I told them to watch this. I said, it's Wizard of Oz if Dorothy was a killer. And my mom was like, ooh, I like the sound of that. So
I think you'd have to see X first, though. Don't you think? I don't think you could do. I don't know if you could just jump in without X.
I think people have seen.
No, but I think this could stand alone, and then you roll over to the next one.
Yeah,
I thought it was it. I thought it was. Yeah, why not?
Fair enough. So, thank you very much.
Wait a minute.
What?
I realized we did not talk about the fact that she keeps bathing in front of her father, and Mom says, what's happening?
She did not want to waste
only
the water.
One tub.
Oh, yeah. So that means she's also swimming around in her incontinent father's wastewater and then allowing him to then just watch her as she floats around.
He's not into watching his daughter, okay? The guy can barely move. He's scared of his freaking daughter, okay? Yes. You can see the look on his eyes when she's there.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying he was turned on. I just, she's so inappropriate and her mother is so stern, but doesn't raise an eyebrow about the situation. I just don't want to waste the water. Okay.
No. She was giving her the side eye. She was definitely like, let's get out of here right now. Why don't you hop up and let me wheel your father out of here? Yeah. There was, like I said, there's levels to what's going on here. There's no question.
I'm glad they didn't make the father a creeper. You know what I mean? Like somehow he was enjoying it. I would have had a completely different view of this film.
Well, he's basically Pearl's confidant. because
Right.
she spills her guts to the dad all day, every day. So he sees more than the mom probably sees.
He's
But
like, I'm gonna need some more morphine after that conversation. Thank you.
push me into the crocodile pit, please, at the stage.
And when she's at the movies, she takes a big swing out of that. She would have been passed out. Sweet Jesus. I mean, we used to get the codeine cough syrup when I was in college. You took one extra teaspoon, you were like drooling. It was fantastic.
Purple drank.
So it was not like a bottle of morphine.
It seems to be that both the men in this family are sort of like pushovers and not like we consider to be like a strong alpha men. The women are the strongest ones in this family than the guys are. The guys are kind of pushovers.
Well, the dad's definitely a pushover.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well,
So, thank you very much. Go to our pages across social media. We're on X, Threads, TikTok. We're on Instagram. You may be watching this on YouTube, for goodness sake.
Maybe.
You can also email us at the podcast that wouldn't die at Gmail. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. Aaron, what's your social media situation?
I got much media. I am the cult of Aaron. Join the cult. I'm also on the Threads and the Twitter X and Don't Feed the Pigeon on the Instagram. And then professionally, I'm on Artsy and First Dibs. Aaron Doherty, check it out.
Excellent. And Vern, where can people find your amazing work?
you can find us everywhere on the social media. We are on Instagram at cinema_recall. That's the same thing for X and for YouTube. Our website is cinemarecall.net. If you just type in Cinema Recall on whatever search thing you have, you can find us there. Check out our shows. Just check out the wild shenanigans stuff that we have going on everywhere. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we'll put your links in our show notes as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And now you guys know that we try to include viewer, listener, comment, mail.
I love that in David Letterman. Let's just call it viewer mail.
Viewer mail.
Viewer mail. Viewer mail. It's now time for Kevin to read viewer mail. Viewer mail. Viewer mail. It's time now for the viewer mail.
Absolutely. Look at this. It's like G.E. Smith and the Saturday Night Live band up in here. Doc Severinsen, if you want to go deep. Talking about our latest episode, The House on Haunted Hill, from a few weeks back, Leo Allen Jr. commented, "This movie was wrapped in garbage and dipped in stupid. Twice."
100% Leo. 100%.
He knows. Absolutely.
And by the way, we got a bunch of comments on TikTok, but I didn't write them down.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Good grief. Talking about our review of the movie Rollerball, Watch/Skip Plus says, effing love this movie. Boom.
It does have a certain quality. It is such of the time. You can tell which of those two movies I prefer.
It's all the polyester and absolutely.
They created a special font just for it. I mean, it's cool. It's Jimmy Caan.
You can't go wrong with Jimmy Caan, for goodness sake. Speaking of Godfather.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll be discussing the horror comedy classic, The Frighteners.
Whoa.
Michael J. Fox and Jake Busey, I believe, isn't that bad boy?
Yep.
No, the whole gang.
The whole gang.
Directed by Peter Jackson. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Good fun movie.
You can watch it on Stars if you have Stars. If you have the DirecTV channel, you can watch it there. I don't even know if that's a thing.
It should be on Peacock.
Is it on Peacock?
It was a Peacock last time I checked.
I still have Peacock from Eurovision, then I just forgot to cancel it. Well, Eurovision was on in May, I think.
Check it out. Otherwise, you might have to pay full freight. It's $2.99 on Amazon Prime, and that's the route I'm going to be going down.
Are you going to be watching the theatrical or director's cut?
Ooh, this is a question. Whichever one I can find. I say,
Okay.
we're
For
gonna.
free.
That's fair. Okay.
That's a good. Look. I mean, I watched Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers recently, and to my horror, I discovered I stumbled upon the producer's cut.
Oh, okay.
Who knows?
Okay.
It's always a mystery.
The
No
sound
question.
design guy's cut. How about that?
The key grips. Yeah. Anywho, so send in your favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions, and we may talk about it on the show. So one more time, thank you very much, Vern.
Thank you. I had so much fun. I hope you'll allow me to come back here and go horse with you wonderful people.
Absolutely. No question.
It's been very smooth time at the podcast that wouldn't die. Da, da, da. Aaron and Kevin are the best you can find. It's the podcast that wouldn't die.
Boom, it just rolls off the tongue.
Damn. Amazing.
Bum, 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 bum.
He's bebobbing and scatting, literally.
So much fun. I listened to your shows for a while there. You just have so much fun talking about the movies and the jokes about them. It's a lot of fun to listen to. So I'm an honor to actually be here. I'm very honored.
Well, thank you very much. That was the nicest thing I've heard all day.
Aww.
Good times.
I'm getting teared up just like the Mia Goth speech.
You're our Pearl at this stage of the game. It's like the final like pull out where it's the credit rolls and it's just her kind of smiling and struggling.
Yes.
I read somewhere Ty West, she was literally waiting for him to say cut and he just wouldn't. He was like, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna make you because she was doing so many interesting things with her face that he's just like, Evan, we're just gonna let this roll. Good times. So thank you very much and be well.
Be well.